Mason and Jackson here to nip the buds and cut the leaves here, clean things up. Over at the Greasy Grove, again, the zone is pulling this way. You can see so much loot off in the distance there, players that try to escape. Here's another look at the fight that's going down. Again, Nosh, right? Nosh definitely needs to get picked up here if Nut wants a true fighter's chance to come back in this game and stay competitive. Essentially, that last game, him falling, not earning any points was terrible. Because now he's just at 102. He's almost hard stuck here.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw them have such a definitive lead for going for that high ground control early, but when you're playing kind of that, I don't want to say less aggressive game plan, but it's a little bit more of a disciplined style, you're not getting eliminations in these random spots. You're not the clicks and days where you're just going to get those added +3 points, and all of a sudden, if you do have a game that's a little bit more awkward, it's a little down, you start to see that slide going, it's how do you react, particularly when Nut and Nosh haven't been on this stage. They have to get into a top 5 today or get enough series points to push them through into the semifinals. That's no small task.
Yeah, they're just digging in the pockets and honestly pulling up lint at this point. And Squish is just there holding it out, not making it easy by any means. The struggle continues here. On the other side, again, some filler content between Mason and Jackson here, just defending the Greasy Grove. 77 players up right now. Acorn and Edgy in second. Firing shots off right now.
I love this, by the way.
It's actually great.
I love when this happens all the time because, like, if you can get an established peak and, like, get the range right, those shots are super obnoxious.
There's a fight going on over there. Like, this is
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can see the triangles going over, and you... Oh, that's what I said. If you get the direct, it's a ton of damage, and now you basically don't have to worry about Storm Surge. My question is, at what point in the line do you decide to launch yourself? But they're in second, and you just need to know, hey, no risk. We just got 200 damage going through. I can keep hucking these shots out, and they got a mark. He can line the distance. Oh, he gets another!
There's no way. This is so calculated, ladies and gentlemen. He is using the marker to pinpoint how far he is and then coordinating the shots to come in perfectly. That is not a mistake. That is clearly deliberate.
If you're Spade and Chimp, how just annoyed are you right now? Like, they had a ton of utility, right? But you saw back-to-back 100 tags on both of them. That's going to eat through nearly the entirety of it. They were bogged down in a fight right before that. So what are you going to do? Return fire? But it looks like that's the exact answer. They're trying to circle around, re-up on their mats because, hey, Chimp has nothing, but we talk about manufacturing points. Be very, very quiet. We're hunting 2 solos.
The real problem, though, is Sin and RN Star here on the side. They hear shots coming in, and that's going to force these other players to move. Day and Clicks, they have an idea. Something is going on here, and they want to get in on the action. This is such an important ambush right now. If they get any set of points right here, I mean, they'll just be one step closer.
And don't forget, that's Nut right on the other side, one of the duos who's right inside that top 10 area. There's 2 solos who are by here, but keep an eye on the bottom right-hand corner as players are still continuing to rotate by. So if they pick the wrong fight to jump in on, this could be catastrophic for them. Their timing has to be perfect.
Clicks walking into a team. He doesn't even realize he's behind that wall. Both sides are hearing the shots. Up he goes. But awareness checks the side there, puts the wall down. And again, Dave finds someone on the side here. They're going to go ahead and commit into the box, and the edit is there. There it is. That's one elimination. Squish gets found out, so Nut is still alive here. There's another solo in the mix. They know there's definitely a team nearby. RN Star and Sin pushed out from the side. They see Rise and Threats there as well.
But he has so much extra shield with all the extra loot in there. They have no problem trading this out. And also, I got to give a shout out. That play was sick because Day coned the player, right? And then Click slides in, re-edits the cone into a ramp, and then hits the shot. Like, that was just really cool.
What's crazy right now is Click's awareness of the situation here. He's still looking for another player. He has a feeling something might be happening here, but instead, he backs out. He rotates away. He takes the small victory. Moved the needle just a little bit, and then continued on for the road here, for the next rotate. And keep in mind, as long as he gets to that next edge zone, he knows there's going to be plenty of players that have to come in as well. Another spot, though. He sees Kobo and crew in front.
But one of the important things to note here, look at Clix' loadout. only having that combat SMG basically means even if they get the advantage and get a line on something, this could be so bad. This could be so bad. They're going to try 1, 2, 3. No, Clicks with amazing awareness. Covers the side and he pulls up. But if that had been a burst, he's probably able to chain over some much greater damage. Instead, only able to get 216 tags, but it gives him a little bit of a room. He's trying to throw shots. We see the 106 below. That should update because they do have an elim. Yes, they're 245 above. So if you're Clicks and Day, you don't need to shoot anyone. Get to zone, please, and enter tournament management mode, as Nut will get the revive or the reboot onto Nosh. They're right on the outside looking in, and because of the early damage, they're still above Surge as well. So currently, our team in 4th and our team in 8th, they're doing fine on Surge. There could be 3 duos who are hit by this right now.
What's crazy about this is Clicks and Day basically saved Nut there, who was waiting, right? He was just waiting because Squish was giving him such a hard time for the save there, not making it easy at all. So all of a sudden now they're back in the game. Here's our number 1 team currently, Larson and Quanti, 400 and about 50 damage above the threshold, clearly leading the lobby here, doing an exceptional job of managing their tournament. The team that's not doing so hot is currently Cam and Bucky, but everything to play for right now as they're starting to push in for this fight here, looking for the box engagement. On the other side, a team that needs it a little bit more, though, Chip and Spade also in a world of trouble here, and they're committing for the fight. They're going for the 2v2.
Yeah, and they don't really have much of an option. They have to be able to dive in. Again, we kind of talked about that 150 line and being able to rifle it out. They do have 30 seconds if they want to do that, but instead trying to dive in box to box, knowing that they kind of hang their heads out there. They don't necessarily have the best utility to take the trades. They want to get above, and they want to get above quick. But as I say that, Spade takes all the damage, and when you see Spade's inventory, why are you dropping down? He has a sushi shop worth of fish in there. He could have stalled it out, but on the opposite side, Melito and Igna try and get their game rolling back over. We saw them with that match 3 victory. We saw them put it themselves back in the conversation. But Chip gets dropped down, and they're going to pick those up.
That is the worst case scenario right there. You try to go in and do something, and there's another team waiting for you in the shadows there lurking. It's going to be Macklin and Donnie who find that set there, but if you're Ignite and Melito here, you're very, very happy. You get to sit on the loot. You get to jump up a little bit more.
No, they were their elims. Ignite and Melito were the ones who got them. Yes, the pressure was coming from Macklin and Donnie, but they were able to slide down and actually pick those up, which is huge.
Oh, another edit. Huge shot by Igna there. He goes on up. He's feeling confident, and that was actually a knock. That wasn't just an edit and a hit. That was a full knock there, and now Donnie is on the run. Macwood gets punished and deleted with just a crazy. We are seeing these striker shotguns just hit different today.
I mean, some great shots from player finding the angle, and vamos, Ignan Melito, come on, boys, trying to put it all together. We talked about how, hey, sometimes you only need that one really good game to get you through, and they've had a couple of tough ones, but still, if they're able to put it together, they can get in the conversation. Somebody who's already in the conversation, heck, they might have just been leading it. In second place, Acorn and Edgy, no threat from Surge with 69 players remaining. They got the first placement threshold, and they have a great little portion on the map.
Acorn and Edgy just honestly been packing heat this whole entire time. You never really know what they're going to pull out, especially after Edgy hit that big second place finish. Just surviving over the rest of the teams and lobbies there, but as things start to continue, as the dust begins to settle here, Clue and Danny at 0 points earned this game, finally now getting to those placement thresholds here. Shots come out. Nothing falls through. This is 3rd place on 10th right now. So of course, is Melito and company. Clicks and Day, however, on the other side, in a bit of trouble here. Day has to begin big heals here. It's going to cost them all of their chug splashes, basically both sides committing. But they're safe. They're in the zone.
Kind of nitpicky here. Not necessarily sure why investing a bunch of chug splashes when they do have the big pots and they're not under pressure. Like, they could have been able to eat into those. With that being said, I do appreciate Clicks expanding out and trying to own a lot of the space, because if you see where they're on the bottom right-hand corner, this is the 3rd zone. We'll have one more concentric safe zone with the 4th one, and they're going to have just basically 40% of the lobby right on top of them in this edge zone, and they're trying to play gatekeepers. They're the ones holding the space and seeing everyone has to rotate underneath this bridge, and Orange Star gets absolutely lit up. This is what we talk about.
Oh, and it was his wall. It's over, and the follow-up as well, the 1-2, and the finish there, and just like that, Clicks and Day find a huge set of eliminations. the refresher, everything you can ask for.
Clix is disgustingly good. I mean, there's times everybody knows it. We saw what he did back during the Solo World Cup. But, I mean, the fact that he is playing, honestly, this might be some of the best individual Fortnite we have seen out of Clix in a very long time. And that's saying something, because the man can play the game.
Oliver, OG, and Jeff need to count their lucky stars. They were behind that wall, that trap door, just like the last team was. And it was almost all over. But Clix decided to play for the zone instead. You just never really know how much you can be flirting with danger at times. Let's catch up, though, with some of our other teams. Rokane and Joji. Great tags here. 6th place for the team here, who have honestly surprised us day in and day out. Rokane coming so close to victory time and time again. Underneath them, the unstoppable Larson and Quanti, who have earned so much this game.
And I think it's important to talk about Larson as an individual player, because let's not forget, him and Smite got 3rd in the previous FNCS.
Yep.
They had, I would say, putting it nicely, they had some chemistry issues, right? So Larson played with a separate duo every single qualifier. He got back with Smite for the last one, but now him and Quanti rolling through, and I mean, currently leading right now. You see on the left-hand side of the screen, Nashina, who were our leaders, but on the right-hand side, Clue and Danny, 3rd place, get put into an absolute blender, and yes, they were able to trade it back, but Bryce got a piece of it.
Nosh and Nut. Nosh, once again now, is the player who is up. Actually, Nut was the one who saved Nosh, so all of a sudden it's up to Nosh here. Wessa put the team on his back. We say pick your poison. It looks like this time it might just be Acorn and Edgy who's right in front of him. He has to be very careful as he starts edging his way forward. There goes the shield crack. Here comes the lobby focus. You know everyone else has heard that as well. And all of a sudden Acorn looks in, and that's enough to slide them up into 1st place. Another set of elims here, and much needed material for Edgy and Acorn.
Acorn trying to find a little bit of room, 599 above, so they're just trying to pick up the points, and they know that team is under pressure. That's Oliver OG on the opposite side. Great wall replace from 2 grid spaces away by Acorn. Now basically means they can't advance into that grid without taking some free shots. That is brilliant piece control from him. Keep an eye on the top left-hand corner. You see Vert picking up a knock in the feed. Rokane and Joji on the right-hand side of your screen. 83 below Monster, and that turns on in 10 seconds. The 25 damage every 5 seconds from Storm Surge.
It is really not looking good. They're going to have to push the envelope here big time right now. They're looking for teams. They go up. There's no one up top. They come down. There's no one down here either, but they do have a lot of heals. I like this play. This is an actual option right now to go ahead and sit here and heal this one out. They also pulled the zone. Usually, you'd say this is a crazy idea. This time, it might actually work.
Look at what they're sitting on. The shield K can offset almost the entirety of the Storm Surge coming through based off of going. They have a second one, and then on top of it, they just have a huge pile of big shields, so they're chilling. Ignore the left side of the screen. They're just going to spray shots and wait. On the right-hand side of the screen, Empen and D-Roller, who are in 4th place, are 147 below. They're able to get the knock and get some extra loot and get materials, but they're still just trying to wait it out. They're burning through the chug splashes, burning through everything that's there, and hoping that other players can go down, but they don't have the excess utility that Rokane and Joji. This is ridiculous.
Crazy that these are the 2 teams that need to fall now because they're the only ones above this surge. 54 players. They're the 4 players on screen, and I think they realize now, hey, this is not just going to end. We need to fight back. Rokane and Joji, they have the zone so close, but it's like, we can't even go that way. We need to stay here and fight back. And no, the missed tags here might just spell disaster for Rokane now. Desperation starts to set in here. They're officially out of the excess heals. Now down to what's left in the inventory.
Yeah, but what's left in the inventory is still 6 chug splashes, 3 big pots, 4 minis. Like, if they get a bead on anyone, they're set. They haven't had to move. Like, they'll finally get in. But, Monster, it's important to note, the entire time we've been talking, going over this, no one has gone down. Empen finally gets tagged. That's Bully who's picking it up. So, the Fusion Esports player gonna find some shots at DeRoller. Trying to hold on, but 3rd is down. 4th is down. 5th is under pressure. And I mean, they are still going through those shields. They're splitting shields, and Clix was the one who picked up the Elim onto DeRoller.
Another big elimination for Clix there. A story telling Elim there. 1 step closer, but Rokane and Joji, I mean, listen, reality has set in for this duo now. They realize we are the only team under. Finally now, players start to go down. The surge will relax. And again, they are still pretty healthy. Talk about a healthy team. Like, they're fine.
I mean, it might as well have been a storm strat going on there because they had all the heals he could have asked for. They might as well have pre-planned it, but now we're going to hop on with 3rd and 4th down. Larson and Quanta, we talk about tournament management mode. They're into the cascading placement points. They are below Surge on the right-hand side, but they have 45 seconds to figure that out, and plenty of players will be rotating. But as I say that, Quanta gets taken down. I was about to say, hey, one good game could do it for him here, but Larson gets boxed in, trying to get a little bit of distance. He will be able to find it. It was Stacky who found the confirmation on the right-hand side of the screen. Also below Surge. Clicks and Day, they're below Surge with 5 elims. Hello?
Clicks and Day managed to fall down. I don't even know how this happens, considering they have so many elims. That means the lobby has been very, very active. Up top, there is a duo there looking down. Clicks has to touch some ground ASAP. There it is. Finally, he managed to set up here. He's going for high ground. They want this victory. This is going to be an all-out fight here. The box comes through. He's got a player in there. It's Avery. He's lit. Turns to the top. That's Muzz. And now he says, you know what? We're going for height. But no. Slowing down. One missed build there, and all of a sudden things get reset.
We talked about the old duo. Larson picked up a pair. Smite and Jelly get another one, putting down Igna and Malito, basically pushing them out, but Jelly got the return. Quick player in his box, he gets taken down, and it's all going to be on Day again. We already saw a 3rd place go down. We saw 4th place go down. Will Clicks and Day fall as well, and they do. Monster. For the first time, all the dramatics are going to come down to the final game on NA East with all of our top players, but Larson going down. Larson's looking to solo clutch his way into the finals right here, right now.
Meanwhile, Larson is alive and continuing to earn points here, padding up that 1st place lead that he's managed to find himself in on height. Except in Avoyu, how in the world have they managed to turn early game eliminations into end game big placement points now? Talk about hot and cold on the day. And right now, though, Larson's going to play for the heal off. Here's Acorn and Edgy. They're fighting for that 1st place spot here. A couple more points, and it probably will seal the deal as we lean into that last game. Here's Demon. He's going to take out Xset there. This is a big, big game right now for him. 5 elims as Cease is just taken out, and there goes the trade. On the other side, Jeff as well. Talk about a squad that needs these points. Oliver OG is down, but Jeff clutches up in a huge shot. Down goes Mason. Another player back there. No, he goes out the side. He's going to hold that player out to the zone. He wants to get right in front. So many mats to work with as well, and just a clean rotate.
Larson finally fell, but he was able to find an elim, an additional placement point. That's +4. It might be enough, but we talked about booking a trip to the finals. 33 Acorn, Fusion, Esports, Edgy. They want to do it right now. Trying to push all the way through. They have the average number of points. If they can just get a couple more elims here, we will be seeing them in 2 weeks playing for that Axe of Champions, trying to get through as Acorn finds yet another one, but Voil and Accept, they want to toss their name into the hat.
Jeff all of a sudden is inside the top 5, but hold up. Take a look here. Acorn and Edgy are doing it. Already 2 elims now, an official top 5 for placement. They look up. They see a player. He's way high. We don't want to target that one. Not right now. Not just yet. Give him a couple more seconds, a couple more material. Findo. Jeff gets another one. More points for him, and they are clutching up. Can we see Oliver OG do it once again here alongside Jeff and make his way to the FNCS Finals? One of the hugest surprises we've seen in the 2022 year.
Nah, I'm done calling Oliver OG a surprise, man. No, not a content creator. He is a competitive player who also happens to have some amazing videos. But Jeff gets taken down, but he pushed himself into that 4th place spot. So massive play for him there. Jelly just trying to get a little bit closer. But realistically, if you're Voil and Accept, you need every possible point here.
I'm with it. I believe it. Voyu and Accept, I mean, the fact that they've managed to find this much in this game is a statement in its own, but they do need more. They cannot allow Acorn and Edgy to steal away these points. They're just funneling the points onto the top there. That's 3 more points that they could have had. And now, the veterans on the low ground here, Edgy and Acorn, again versus vets on the high of Accept and Voil. 6 points, 6 elims.
So heal off, though, I believe, goes to Accept and Voil. They have the full med kit as well as 6 splashes, but Edgy and Acorn say, no, chopping it all down. You'll fall just like my name says. Finds it on the side. Edgy, will he be able to get the confirmation? Looks back for Accept,
no.
But Accept puts his foot on the gas pedal and says, you better not let up. Trying to find the shot, and as as he goes for the conversion, Acorn sticks his head out and says, no siphon for you. He closes it down, and I'm confident enough to say, Edgy, Acorn, welcome to the finals.
They win the game. They definitely do enough to make it to the final stage. And just like that, Acorn and Edgy turn this, what was it, a desperate situation, into a victory in the end. Talk about a lap and a half there. Except and Voyo, though, respects to them for making it that far. GG's, that was game number 5.
One of those bonkers I noticed off of that replay right there at the end, he had 36 HP when it finished. He popped the flopper right before that and then sprinted into the zone. If he doesn't have that flopper, then maybe it's a 1v1 where the other opponent picks up the siphon beforehand. So just a great awareness. And again, congrats, because we'll be seeing you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. That was plenty of points there earned from the vets themselves. And that's a pick for the casters, so we'll see what happens. Let's toss it on over to them.
No big deal, just carrying Adam Savage on my back while he's on vacation. Acorn and Edgy, that's why you're, well, it's actually I'm taking the points for this being the correct prediction.
Thank goodness. Because Adam does not need those points. Because listen, it's like a bittersweet thing, right? Like I picked them and I need these points, but then Adam's also getting them at the same time. So, you know, it's like one of these things. But listen, who's getting even more points than I am right now is Acorn and Edgy. Absolute domination right there. And I loved Sundown's little breakdown of this player here. Acorn, you know, this type of situation, look, he has 2 minis, right? And he doesn't really have that many mats, and he knows that Edgy is getting knocked. So he makes an instant play to kind of prevent that, and he puts his, you know, his presence known. He's like, hey, listen, I am right here. You cannot just go for that finish, because if you do, I'm just going to jump on you with my pump. And he prevents the siphon, and he wins out that 1v1 because of some play like that. And ultimately, Acorn and Edgy, first place, 187 points.
Well, this is looking so good for them. Quantin Larson, like we said, in second. Also, almost a guaranteed qualification at this point, but Day and Clicks there. We saw almost a bit of a throw for them. They could have easily almost solidified their placement up in the top position, but they were struggling so much with Storm Surge. And it's so interesting because they actually had 5 eliminations. So in endgame right now, 5 eliminations total. This is the 5th one coming through. You can see they are 251 above at this moment, but you're going to see them drop to 50 below there, and they even go to 150 below at some point. Maybe that was behind here. Doesn't really matter. Either way, they were struggling all the way through. It ended up being super, super messy. It just shows they've kind of just been cleaning up a bunch of these eliminations. They weren't actually doing that much damage overall.
Yeah, so really smart play on them, right? Like finding eliminations that they don't necessarily have to work for, but ultimately ended up kind of being their downfall. But look at this like ratio of their points right here. You can see 139.
Like that.
And then they only have like 60 placement points. It's like, man, like how many eliminations just are these guys actually getting?
Absolutely. This second page as well is like the first half. It's all did so good in the first couple games, right? You know, we saw Nosh and Nut doing so good alongside Cease and Tragics as well. And it seems like their pace is starting to slow down towards this second half as well. I'm pretty sure Creo and Vert have been in 17th this whole time. I'm looking at you boys. You get it. Start climbing, you know? Let's see it on out. But again, this is the first page. Top 5 will qualify through. A single game left remaining. Still plenty of teams underneath the 6th place, or underneath the 5th place, sorry. That can have a big game, can pick up the victory and will hit that qualification.
Yeah, and Joji and Rokan, right? They're just barely hanging on right there. 6th place. They actually didn't move at all. They're still in 6th place, but only, you know, 6 points behind 5th place. So definitely staying in it. But look at this. Another one of those situations where Storm Surge is just there on them the entire game. We saw them right there all the way down into the moving zones even, and still gathering some points nonetheless, but ultimately kind of just, you know, a knife in their back the whole entire time.
I mean, they were 250 below moving surges. Like, good luck. Good luck getting that damage. You know, it's like it's the complete opposite of what we're seeing from our first place team, right? Because coming out of Edgy and Acorn, they have such a good early mid game, and you can tell that because A, the consistency in their placements, but B, also because they just get like no eliminations, right? You see them with such a low amount of elims until the kind of final moments of endgame, because they have got set up so well in that early mid that they just don't even need to, right? They have the tank, they have the damage, they have everything they need. They can play out slow and then get aggressive when they need to.
Man, well, this is it. We got one game left to go here. Storm Surge has been prevalent. All right, it's been here in NA East and in EU. Boys, what can we do to solve this problem? Just give them some advice.
Just shoot people.
Just shoot people.
Just shoot people.
Just go ahead.
Hit the shots, man.
That's what they have.
In a serious note, though, like, if you're struggling with Storm Surge, I mean, it's like, if you get to this point in the tournament and you're still really, really struggling, it's like you're not going to just create an amazing Storm Surge strategy going into the final game here. Like, if you've struggled every single time, like, you just have to take a fight now. At the end of the day, like, you're not going to suddenly get all of the best rotation timings in this final game. Just take a fight if you've been struggling all the time.
Yeah, Storm Surge is really absurd, right? Like, you're talking about how Clicks and Day have like 5 eliminations and they're below, and then Acorn and Edgy have like 0 to 1, and they're just above and chilling. So it's crazy. You know, you really do gotta account for that Storm Surge.
That's right. It's a mark of a good duo. Absolutely. Well, Fortnite fam, one final game here in NA East. We're wrapping things up, so we got one more game out of qualifier number 3. Monster D face Sundown, bring us home.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And in the wise words of Reese, basically quoting Ninja, hit your shots, kid. One more game to go. And the question is, who will snag the last 3 spots? Because basically 3rd, 4th, and 5th are all up for grabs.
This is looking like it's going to come down to the wire. A big victory royale here and a huge finish needed for everyone inside. I'd say that bubble of top 15 or so. And that's because, well, our 1st and 2nd place teams, they ran away. They boarded the train. They're gone and they're out. So Sundown, it really is going to come down to everyone else staying just consistent, but also who can clutch up.
Yeah, they already punched their ticket. We'll be seeing them in 2 weeks. Don't forget, next week is the semifinals where we'll be rolling through the matches. We'll have plenty chances for the teams who didn't advance all the way through. But realistically, if you're in touching distance of that top 5, you want to get a hand on it. Who will race to the top? One more match. Bus driver, you ready? We're ready. Let's go.
Game number 6 of the FNCS Finals is here. The qualifier number 3 is underway, ladies and gentlemen. The NA East region has been so explosive today. Talk about highlight after highlight, big fight after big fight, and now, of course, what matters is that top 5 position.
All right, so breaking it down, as we get into the last game, we're going to be talking a whole lot about numbers. Yes, we'll watch the early fights going on, but realistically, a lot of these fights, they aren't going to impact the top 5. We've seen what's going on. If you see a fight going on there, we'll call it out and we'll let you know. But looking at the top 5 right now, Acorn Edgy, good. Quanti Larson, good. Clicks and Day, you need a couple of points in there, but we talk about it. Joji and Rokane on the opposite side, they find Fable Taco right away, and that's going to feel good for that.
I'm thinking Clicks and Day might need 4 eliminations, which is not easy. We've seen how close some of these battles can be. We've seen teams fall in game number 1. These types of things do happen. However, playing smart is going to be what gets you across that line there. The line has been drawn, and we know. We're fighting Naunzi here, though. Take it.
So based off the math, you're talking about them needing 4 eliminations. I did some kind of napkin math, and by that I mean I pulled out my calculator because we don't do math live on stream. Looking at the point average going through right now, the average points per game through 5 games in the top 5 is 24.4. So if we then multiply that by 6, the number of games it should be, the line is right around 146 points. Clicks and Day are sitting on 139. 2 eliminations puts them 1 point away from that. So 2 eliminations in a top 35, and you're basically there. So what that means is you make sure you're above Storm Surge, and you chill.
Or find a cannon the way Edgy did last game and just lay waste to the lobby. For a second there, we did see Jeff and crew just to get all caught up on, again, teams that matter in the general area. Look at this fight, though. This is such a drawn-out battle. Well, Rapid and Ozone have done enough to get their series points now as they start edging their way into around 20th place or so. So this is a fight that definitely matters for them.
7th place is out. DeRoller and NPen have been dropped in 46th place. We'll see you guys in semifinals, but you'll be playing next week. No trip to the finals for them, and that is tough because they had so many good runs and good qualifying opportunities. But Rapid right now has been putting in some work with that Epic Striker pump, backing down the teams who've been challenging them.
That was a great tag onto Naunzi there, who's going for a drive peek behind the wall. And it's actually Jackson and Mason who managed to slide their way back in here with a quick rotate. It's not looking too hot right now. Shots are going down. Naunzi gets taken out there up top to the hands of Mason. Rapid comes in. This is revenge here they're looking for, but nothing comes from it.
Revenge can often taste sweet, but honestly, they'll probably just have a little bit of a bitter taste after this because They know there was so much going on in Greasy, they just couldn't necessarily find it. But right now, Mason finding some great hip-fire shots. I really want to see him try and press up with this legendary auto shotgun to try and get in and pressure the opponents. And he's doing a really good job navigating through them, but nice little hop up there to create some distance. Mason trying to chase down, and he will close it out.
Mason and Jackson are such an interesting team. They're talking about a duo that has had hot and cold performances, never really bad performances, only, again, okay performances, which again, when you kind of weigh it across the overall FNCS, they have made it week after week. They've kind of been here. So the more and more experiences they gain, the closer and closer they become to becoming a top-tier team. That's a scary duo, and they've, again, stuck with one another. But here's Clicks and Day. Just stay alive.
Stay on your feet. Cover your back. Stay close to your ally. Every single time we have seen it gone poorly for them is when they get separated. Even then, they're so good individually where they're able to make plays happen. Bucky and Cam, I'm sorry, it seems regardless of whoever I pick on the weekend, they don't necessarily put it all together, so that's my bad. However, I do anticipate y'all to make it through the semifinals. We'll see you next week as we hop on board here, just on the outside looking in. Rokane and Joji, I mean, we've talked about how Rokane has been putting in the work, but Joji picking up the early elim here, that should help them a lot.
That's definitely going to help them a lot. That's 3 points right there. Massive, massive points, especially for a team that is, again, just outside the window looking in. He's saying, hey, open up. Let me in. But nothing just yet.
Let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in.
How do you close that gap, right? You got to outperform the fifth place team, and that's Jeff and Oliver OG who've made endgame after endgame. You saw just last round how much Jeff was able to really string together there.
But the question is, what can they do with it? The zone dropped really close to him, and you can see the qualifying line right around the 140, 145 mark. And right now, we'll take a look at some of the action that happened around the early game. We'll peek on, and I believe we got a little bit of action coming out of XSC here, Cease here in just a second. As we see Oliver OG just trying to farm up, and Cease doing a good job trying to make a little bit of room here. He does have that vault key, trying to create the distance. Unfortunately, gets taken down. They were in 11th, but again, we talk about it. They have plenty of points. We'll be seeing them in the semifinal, but you got to go back and kind of hit the Vadrus and figure out a game plan because those heats are going to be rough.
And it looks like Flutto also falls in the feed there. These are teams that just started off on such a great footing in the back half. You know, the half that matters the most, arguably closing out the tournament strong, did not come into fruition for them. Clicks and Day, however, are the team under pressure right now by Spade and Chimp, a team that needs it just as much here. I talked about them using the cannons. Maybe I jinxed it here as it gets blown up. Day is moving forwards, though. What is this?
Dude, no shot. No shot they take this fight. If they take this fight and lose this fight, I'm actually going to be upset.
They did it against Jelly. They try to take a clean 2v2. They size up the opponents, and they say, I think we got this one, but this could be a bad call.
I mean, they're going. The Chimp and Spade placed second in the previous FNCS duos. They're sitting in 8th place. They are no slouches. And immediately, you can see the level of aggression. Day comes rounding the corner, bump, 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 like trying to sprint up the hill, and immediately gets met with 2 body shots. But they have so much extra utility, they can just kind of back off. But, I mean, you got to game plan correctly. However, coming over the hill, this could be it.
They need tags. They're looking for Surge here. Nothing's going to come through. Day starts to slide on up. Those shots coming in from behind are Chimp and Spade here. Big tags on today. Rokane, however, on the other side with Joji. Pressure's on. Team number 6 is getting pushed.
Trying to create a little space, trying to not get too panicked. But yet again, right side of the screen, Clicks and Day poking around. But this is what I'm talking about. Their sides aren't covered. If anybody gets a beam on them, it can be dangerous. But they've been the one playing the aggressor. They're hunting their opponents, trying to find the shots. Roken ends up eating a couple on the left-hand side. But you can see it's definitely aggressive posturing out of Clicks and Day. They're looking to make plays.
What's crazy about this is they really are pushing the envelope here. Almost trying to force this qualification to happen. And we all know when you try to force things, it can definitely go bad here because, you know, you can walk into a trap essentially. Qual and Tabs G, another bubble duo here, waiting up top.
and not necessarily outside of striking distance. A good game from them could put them in the conversation. Yes, 88 points. They do still have plenty of ground to make up, but we've seen it before. Day taking some shots from above. You can see the angle rotate coming through. They're trying to push onto
They
Bully
know
there.
this is a solo.
They're going for a monster.
Clix is trying to set up here, but the punishment comes in from the side, and all of a sudden now that gets put to a screeching halt here. Day, however, on the other side, finds a huge tag, and down goes Bully. Down goes another one as Day comes through into the box. The pickaxe shuts it down. Good night, Smite. Your tournament run is over. Day and Clix step into the limelight. Just a little bit more now, and they'll be in the finals.
How disrespectful to just pickaxe right in his face. And again, it's the play. He knows the damage. He got the 180 tag. All you need is a 20. It's the fastest swap instead of swapping over to another gun. But man, you got to give him a little bit of swag points. And we say, hey, Clix has been doing the bulk of the carrying when it comes to the elimination points. But Day is getting the clutch up moments when it happens. And Monster, you said that was a solo. They were able to, Bully looked like a solo, but they got a full exchange. That was 7 points. That was the points we talked about. They're on that line now. 2 elims and the placement point.
This is it. They need a little bit more, but so do Oliver, OG, and Jeff. In fifth, down goes Jeff. Oh no, Jeff steps in. Oliver is down. The trades are happening. The team on the other side is fast. And Pam's to a duo that is so good. Known for their teamwork, known for their clutches as well. Champions in their own right. Here comes the full thirst. Jeff needed that. And a save as well onto Oliver, OG. It doesn't get any better than that.
Great siphon, great armored walls, and something you don't see a ton of in the current meta. The shield fish are so incredibly valuable in this situation because you don't have to take the time to pop them, and it gives very minimal audio cue compared to everything else. It's very difficult to find. Also, good job by Jeff there, making sure he used the chug splash on not only himself but also Oliver to extend the timer. But Monster, he opens it up, and he's gonna back down any aggression there. Fatch can't walk forward after that.
That was crazy. Pamsto and Fat versus Jeff and Oliver, OG in a clean 2v2. No distractions. And Jeff just playing different today, representing for Team Fusion. You love to see it. Put some respect on it. Here it is. The re-swing around. It's going to cost him a lot. Another team comes in. It's RN Star who snipes that one up.
Yeah, Cineruni getting the confirmation. And honestly, if you're Jeff and Oliver, you are so incredibly happy with that. In a 2v2, you get a little assistance from the team on the side putting the shots over. Cineruni and Arnstar are happy with it. They get the points going across. But Kaz and Hoofishy, I feel like a team we haven't talked about a ton. Yes, they got that late victory royale, and they needed to put it back up in the conversation. Now they're up on that first page, 105, and they're a duo that, again, needs every possible series point, and realistically, a top 5 would be better.
A win here will be even better than that, which can, again, solidify themselves to the finals. They are just that close. Let's not forget, over 30 points if you can snag that victory out. 3 points for the Elim, so it really is worth so much. We've seen some 40-point swing games today. Nothing huge by any means, so we're about due for a pop-off game, and I got a feeling someone is going to clutch up here. Danny and Clue, though, what a team that surprised us today here. After last game being probably their worst performance here now, this is where champions are made. Can they hold their composure? Can they continue?
So you talked about their last game being their worst performance. Actually, they just had really solid games number 2, 3, and 4. Third place, 6 elims. Fifth place, 9 elims. Sixth place, 2 elims. They opened up with a 34th place and 1 elim. So that opening game, they only got, what, the 4 points that ended up coming with that first place point, plus the 3 going through. But after that, a 3rd, 5th, and 6th is bonkers. However, starting to stall out, and we talk about you only really get 2 kind of gimme games going through there. They need another top 5 performance here to stay in that conversation.
It does ultimately come down to 4 great performances, but with how close the standings are, with how many other teams have managed to really do well so far and continue to stay alive now, it's only going to become more and more difficult. Rokan and Joji are one of those few teams that can also just seal the deal right here. Close that envelope and ship it on out. Comes the rotate on foot, getting greedy for a center position. I like it. I like it. This is a great, risky rotate.
But if you look at the map, that's one of those little dunes I talked about. I think it was match number 2 when we pulled over here. There was no one to the south of them. If they just get a little bit up on top of the hill, they're now set for the rest of the game because everyone who's on the northern part of them has to rotate past them. The zone is going to continue going to the southern part of the map. Yes, it could pull up to the north, but everybody who is still on that side has to pass where they are. So that positioning is prime. On the opposite side of that, in a fantastic contrast, Clicks and Day just did the exact same thing. They're able to walk up, but instead, they try and get box to box with this team. And in my head, I am screaming, why? Hold the high ground, create a little bit of distance, and you should be fine. However, Mystic and Blahuff are taking a bunch of damage.
A lot of shots coming in here. Day and Clicks continue the aggression here. They're starting to step forward. They're in the domain of the opponents here. This is so risky. Day and Clicks don't want to bite off more than they can chew. They decide to back up here. Shots come in from the side, and those are just warnings to them currently.
Dude, they take so much random chip damage. I feel like I have never watched a duo of this quality just take so much random damage. The thing to note, though, is Joneses has such an excess when it comes to shields, particularly if you're looting all of those coolers and going through. They just don't particularly care about it. They're like, yeah, we got enough to fill it up, and they get enough eliminations to have the refreshes. But, man, I feel like if you cleaned up that little bit of their gameplay, if you weren't giving Storm Surge over these teams, they might be one of, if not the best duo in any. Wall to wall, here it goes.
This starts to kick off now. The other team wants to come back. They probably need to fight. And all of a sudden, Day and Clicks are here, ready, armed and ready. But these are all enemy builds. They are so deep in dangerous territory here. They have to be careful. Other teams now starting to base up all around them. And you never really know how quickly your game can end. It's situations like that, sitting in enemy builds by yourself that can throw it all away. Clicks and Day are, of course, my pick, so I'm rooting for them to stay in this, but they are not making it easy, keeping it on edge.
Yeah, somebody to the right of Nosh and Nut was just hawking shields farther into the center zone. Very curious as to what's going on right there. But currently the chip is happening and pushing them down. Again, Nosh and Nut just roared out to a huge lead, but ever since then it's stalled a little bit. You can see everyone throwing shots over towards the side. Rokane, bottom right-hand corner, currently sitting in 6th place. Bottom left-hand corner, Jeff and Oliver OG. They're in 5th. Top of the screen, Nosh and Nut, they're in 10th, but you can see it's less than 17 points separating these three duos.
Huge elimination there for Joji on the team that was on the outskirts. That was Convicted and company. And again, they needed those points there. Now at 2, riding the literal souls of Jeff and Oliver OG. They are right behind them, going tit for tat here. 2 points separate Rokane's duo from Jeff's duo here.
Dude, this is far and away been the most exciting qualifier already. Coming down to the final moments, we're going to see something ridiculous. Regardless of what happens, somebody is going to put a stamp on it, whether it's denying it through, somebody is going to make the effort. The question is, who steps up? When your entire FNCS qualification is on the line, who has the ability to thrive in that pressure? Who can do just what they need to find it? And there's so many duos who are capable of it. I mean, Chimp and Kaz, they're right on top of each other. Literally a point separating them.
No Elans, though, which we know are so important here as they have a huge gap to close, about 20 points or so. Quanti finds Casker in the feed there. Shots start to come in onto Chimp here, and he recognizes this wall is weak. Let's get the wood out of here. Back onto metal he goes. Fishy and Kaz, however, on the other side, gathering information step by step here. Big risky editor trying to snipe up some loot as he finds some bandages on the side. Elan's happen in front of him. Can he find some tags here? Nothing comes from it. That's a team that's hurt, though. That's just a solo. He does grab the mats. Nice for him.
Oh, and he needed that mats. You saw immediately ticked up above max wood and 280 extra wood. What?
The big pickup there can definitely change the outcome for that duo. On the other side, Joji and Rokane once again looking around. Danny and Clue in 4th place. Dicey start for them. Somehow managing to find themselves in 4th here. They're well above the surge. No need to take any risk. No unintentional edits here either. They're just hanging out right now, waiting for this zone to close out. However, Rogue Shark and Knight just need to do much more. They're one of the only teams that actually have to be active here. They don't have a choice. Armored walls start to come out, though.
need to find shots. 84 damage below. 3 seconds till that ticks on, and that is the worst time to be taking that damage. He has no extra shields to top off either. Knight might potentially look to drop him something over, but that Storm Surge is going to turn on. 25 damage every 5 seconds. Here it goes.
Now remember, that sweet magic number is top 25, so the big cascading placement points can start to rack in for those other teams that, again, need it so much more. Take a look here. The zone's pulling south. No one's really down there. I know Clix and Day did have that. Clix finds one in the feed, though. Things are starting to add up for them.
One more duo under pressure, and they're on the left-hand side of your screen. We had both of them side by side, but Knight takes way too much damage there. The Shield Cake doing amazing to offset it, but Roadshark doesn't cover his 6, and they get destroyed. Shots from every single angle. And Rokan and Joji are looking to dive down immediately on top of that. But we talk about being loot goblins. We talk about being greedy. Your entire FNCS could ride on this. Joji is down. And yet again, 33 Rokan is put in a position where he needs to put the duo on his back. He hits the launch pad. He finds a little bit of breathing space. He wants to create a cavern. He's going to invest a solid amount to make himself look big, like a bear is charging him in the woods. But he needs to be the bear. He needs to claw his way up the leaderboard like we saw in the individual efforts. Can he do it again?
Crazy part about that is Clix and Day actually open the edit on the other side of the wall. They start to look in. They see Rokan, and Rokan sees them. He dips back and says, no, no, you will not target me. Buys himself a little bit more time. Here's our number 1 team of Acorn and Edgy. They have already done it, but they're looking to add a little bit more, sending players to the lobby along the way, shutting down hopes and dreams of seeing the finals for Pigot and Pump. They're one of the teams under target right now, under pressure. Lay out the red tape. It's a danger zone all around this duo.
I mean, Eyes looking right now, 8th place, Chimp and Spade. But the biggest thing to remember, we are in the cascading placement points, and the eliminations will add up. Rokan, who is sitting in 6th, is a solo, so he's going to be hunting. Clue picks up a huge confirmation onto Chubbs. That was our 4th place team who's sliding. They're trying to get themselves in. Monster, we're into the late game, outside the half and half. Full moving zones. Game 6, qualifier 3 here in NA East. If you want to put your name into the finals, you need to step up and do it right now.
Chimp and Spade honestly need this victory royale here. They got to step it up. Stacky as well, who's on high ground. Creo and company are there edging their way in. Here's Clue and Danny trying to slide their way down. Where will they touch base? Chimp looking out the side here. Rokan once again solo, clutching up right now, alive still. Remember, with every team that falls, Rokan will earn a little bit more. Pressure comes in from down low. There's a team in front of him. He gets cut off there. Has to block that one as well.
Creo picks up a knock onto Hoofishy. That's another team who's going through. Larson ends up getting knocked, but they're already qualified. My eyes are pinned on the bottom right. If you're watching anything else, you're wrong right now. 132 below. Rokan has been the hero. Creo gets one. TK gets one. Nut gets one to keep them in the conversation. Acorn picks up Danny. Danny is down. I repeat, Danny is down. There is room in the top 5, and Rokan sees a crack in the window. Can he push himself through it?
Don't forget, Jeff and Oliver are the team holding that 5th place spot as well. They're live here in the mix. Only 2 points separate them. Can he continue to pop off here? Honestly, Rokan needs a little bit more. The feed, though, Clue is out. So 4th place begins to open up here. Rokan jumps up and over Jeff as well. And he is doing it off of placement points alone. Spade and Chimp are still in this game, though. They can still snipe this away. Take that grin right off of his face as Clix is on the low ground there in the front side with Day. They're already at 3 elims. They've definitely done enough. They're surely punched their ticket to the finals, but Rokan needs to do more.
It's Rokan and it's Nosh and Nut trying to make a late run. Trying to Rokan into the box.
Here it is.
57. He finds the swamp. Can he get the knock? He does. That is huge. 4 points going over. Some more room, some more mats. No white heals. That is monstrous. And he takes down Kaz, another player who is right on that border.
He is there. He is so close now. That's going to throw him 4 points over. 1 step closer here. They are just trading 5th and 6th places back and forth. Jeff and Oliver OG sneak their way on up to 4th. Take a look here. Chimp and Spade need to continue to rack up, though. They have 2 elims. That's not enough. They're going to need much, much more, and there are still players up here for grabs.
But every single elim that goes over to the top 3 teams are still, what? Rokan, you just got a gift from above. All you need to do is stall.
Stay alive now. inside the top 10, 137. Chimp and Spade want to fight for it, though. They're not making it easy. They're keeping it close. Chimp gets punished there. Spade does too. Out to the side goes. Punishment comes in. It's not looking good. He's out of mats. It's all down to this, Chimp. Oh, first place is behind the wall. Not this duo. Anyone but them.
Day just took down Jeff and Oliver. He opens the door. Day kicks it wide open. He says, hey, top 5, come on through. Roken, can you pressure it?
Let's see it here. More shots in. Roken is now in the top 8. Another team goes down. Clicks is down as well from the hands of Oliver OG. Edgy finds Day. They get shut down. Oliver needed those points as well. It's all going to come down to this. Spade and Chimp now in 6. Chimp just holding on by a thread.
Quanti is still up, though, so every point that ends up going over to Quanti and Larson gives him a little bit of room. And the zone bounces back! The zone bounces back! He's able to find it!
Those are some more points there. He did need those. Can he get a little bit here? Some mats? No, he's starting to run out of fuel.
Solos! It's Solos, monster!
Everyone's by themselves.
This is so tense, but Roken, he opens up and he finds a player on the backside of the zone. That is huge, but Vert's the one who takes it away.
Roken is definitely done enough here. It is. This is his victory lap here. It's all coming down to the last game. Talk about a hero's performance. Vert is alive in the low ground. Chimp is still here. Once again, with no HP. Just trying to stay up, but no, the missed edit there, and the huge shot comes in. It's a 1v1 situation.
Roken
and the third up top. Roken finds Nut. It's Chimp versus Vert in the low ground. He's almost out of mats. It's one more build. He slides out the side, just trying to play with time here. Roken sitting back, looking at it all unfold. He weighs his options, and the option is to fight now as the teams are pushing in.
That's it, Roken did it!
Could be the difference. And here it is. The victory lap, the 1v1. It's all on the line, and Roken gets crushed by Vert up top, but it is gonna be enough in the end.
Roken, what in my sweet... Yo, I don't... Solo impact score, whatever it is, just take Roken and put it to the max. I don't know if the limit is there or the limit does not exist, but this man, we called out from the beginning. We said, hey, how big is your backpack? And he says, I don't even have a hiking backpack. You can put whatever in there, monster. This thing just keeps going, and while Creo and Vert win the last match, it's all about the solo efforts and Mr. Roken.
Yeah, that's right. You know, honestly, Roken, hats off to you. Such a big game there when it mattered most. He jumped up 4 positions at the very end. He was way outside. And then, man, Oliver, OG, and Jeff also coming through with the consistency there. We had a huge final game, Sundown.
That was amazing. Like I said, one of the best qualifiers. And now I'm just amped up for the semifinals because we've seen a lot of the teams go through, but we have a great batch of duos.
That's right. That is definitely right. Well, from us here at the desk, Monster D-Face and Sundown, it has been an exciting FNCS, but we still have to officially announce everyone on through. So let's go ahead and toss it on over to Zeke and the crew to bring us on home.
Roken. What the heck just happened? Okay, I thought EU had some crazy clutch moments, but apparently Roken said, I will one-up an entire region. Hold this slurp juice. My goodness. This is the run right here, Vivid, that he will remember going into finals, and that is like the confidence, like, solidifier, right? The moment that says, I deserve to be here.
Look at that. All the way from half zone, he was a solo. He was flying through the air with 46 HP, and he rides it all the way to the end game. But Zeke, you're talking about this performance. No, Zeke, it wasn't just this performance. Roken has been doing this literally all day. How many times do we have to see this man as a solo clutching up? Joji, we better see a tweet later that says Roken is the best.
And if he doesn't start splitting some of that earnings from finals, I'm telling you, right? Like, let's be real. Roken has gone absolutely insane. And look, you can see them up in the top right now. Number 4. They have managed to qualify through by that incredible solo run. Jeff and Oliver OG also managed to get through in 5th place that we saw there as well.
Yeah.
Huge congratulations to all of the top 5 teams who've made it so far.
This guy. Hey,
That one?
Hey,
That one?
Hey, what's up?
There we go.
One?
There
That
it is.
one?
No, this one. You
Yeah,
right
that
here.
one?
No,
Yeah,
that
no,
one
wait,
or
no,
this
look
one?
at me. Look
Me?
at right here.
Yeah, no,
This-
I'm saying this one over,
You
over
and me,
there.
we
Yeah.
together,
Oh,
we
no.
did it. We carried
Oh, no.
Adam Savage while he was on vacation. We put him on our back and made the prediction of a lifetime. Remember, production, give me the points. Hey, don't give him the points. Okay, production. Oh, wow. We'll take a look at those top 5 in just a little bit here. NA East, though, I just can't put. Whoa.
Look at Edgy. Look
Whoa.
at him. Look at him.
Hello.
So handsome right there, all the way at the top. That really nice 40-point lead there for Acorn and Edgy. A dominant performance. Quanti and Larson, we saw that multiple times. The momentum in the end game was just unmatched. And then dang clicks, final eliminations throughout the entire day. Reese, what a performance from these duos.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single team, the top 5, they're going to be ecstatic right now. I'm sure the tweets are flowing through on Twitter. They're all going to be so pleased. You know, those teams that have just managed not to make the cut, though, the 6th all the way down to 50th. These guys have gained absolutely valuable series points. And here we go. Who's just missed out? It's Danny Badbloom alongside Clues, though. 12 points, missed on below. Probably a 13 points. Need to get them up just with a couple more eliminations there. Spade and Chimp, who had a fantastic last game. And Creo and Vert there, who ended up winning that last game. My prediction in 8th. So, hey, you know, SPG better thank you at least a little bit for that. Top 10? Top 10?
You know, not bad. Listen,
That's not
Reese,
bad.
I'm not going to lie. I wasn't praying on your downfall or anything, but I might have been
Just
praying on
everyone else's.
SPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, man, you know, you were saying that they were like in 17th, but now that last game they're bumping them up 9 points.
Yeah.
That's pretty good from them. But yeah, listen, today has been awesome, Zeke. You know, all of these solo clutches, and I really feel like that was kind of like the storyline of the day. There was just so many going on constantly. We saw Acorn do it one game, and then Edgy. And, you know, honestly, I feel like Quanti and Larson, for me, though, was like the one duo that was always alive in the end game, and that momentum just literally kept throughout all 6 games.
Absolutely crazy. No, Reese, I want you to finish your point.
I was just going to say, like, it peaked in the final game, right? We saw solo clutch after solo clutch after solo clutch.
All
And then
solos.
that last game is just like, okay, let's just play solos for the entire game. This is what's deciding who's qualifying.
That's crazy. So let's take a look at our predictions. Let's see who predicted well. I mean, me and Vivid are both
Obviously.
legends. It's really Vivid. He just put me in his
You
backpack.
copied mine? Is that what you did?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay.
You know, but remember, Adam Savage is on vacation, so that's why I got to kind of sub in for the day. So, Adam, I will graciously give you these points, okay? Because I can't just
Not
take all your
gracious
points.
if you keep asking for them back.
He's begging right now. He's like, please, give me those points.
Please. Yeah, that would also be really bad if he finally got it right and I took him away from him. He would feel real bad. But overall, NAEs, thank you guys so much for having Reese and I here hanging out with y'all for just a day. Next week, we'll have SBG and Adam Savage back in their respective seats and having a great time. Remember, please, if you enjoyed the action, we got NA West next. All right, there's another 6 games going on there. We're back next weekend, semi-finals. And the weekend after that, finals. You don't want to miss any of that. As always, please give these incredible human beings a follow. Give incredible human beings over there, Sundown and Monster D-Face, my twin brother, a follow as well. We love you guys. Keep yourselves safe, and we'll see you on the battle bus.
NA East beat.
Oh.